In this video, I want to show you one more way in which you can repurpose a private label video. Now, what I'm working with here is a video that I have the private label rights to, and I've also got the transcripts for that video. And what I'm going to do is use those transcripts to create a PowerPoint slide deck. I'm going to read from those transcripts or from the slide deck, whichever, to record a new voiceover audio, and I'm going to take screen grabs of certain sections of that original video, put all those pieces of the puzzle together into a unique video product. And here's an example of what it might look like. This video is going to demonstrate a few ways to customize the layout of your Gmail user interface. I've already logged into my Gmail account here, and one way is the number of emails that are shown by default. That's not a whole lot of emails in here right now, but if you're a regular user of Gmail, then you know that it won't take long before this can quickly fill up. Now, by default, I believe 25 are shown before you have to start scrolling to the next 25 and so on. Now, to change that, you come on in here to your settings, which is right here next to the gear icon, hit that drop-down arrow, come on down to setting, and right here, I've got mine set to 50, and that, as a matter of fact, might be the default as well. I'm not really sure. Now you can change that by hitting this drop-down arrow, and you can have between 10 shown all the way up to 100 shown before you have to start scrolling by hitting that right or left button that I showed you earlier. Now that's just one demonstration. The key thing to keep in mind here, though, is when creating a series of training videos from scratch, you've got a lot to do. You have to research the topic, you have to create a script, you have to record the video, in some cases several times before you get one that's somewhat usable. Then you have to go through and edit that recorded video. And in many cases, that process can take days, weeks, or even months. This particular way in which you're creating a unique video product is using somebody else's work. And remember, you have to have the rights to be able to do this. But this process, while tedious, can have the same end result, that being a series of training videos within a matter of hours or days. So let's take a look at how I put that together. So I've got the transcripts here, and this is in a Word format. So I want to copy all this and put it into a notepad or a text document. I've got that copied into my clipboard now, and open up Notepad and just paste that in here. Now I can go through here and manually prep this for my PowerPoint slide deck by looking for the end of each sentence and making it on its own line, and may have to do some additional adjustments to get that to look right. And remember, you don't want a whole lot of text on each slide, so you may have to do some summarizing for the slide deck while reading this completely. Now, an easier, much quicker way to do this is using a text editor called Editplus. Let me show you how that works. I still have this original content in my clipboard, so let's get this out of the way here. And let's open up Editplus, new document, normal text, paste that in here. So now what we want to do is come on up here and go to Search and Replace, and come on down here to More, click on that, and you got these boxes that open up. And what we want to find is the period, because again, that signifies the end of a sentence. Replace it with, put the cursor in there, and hit your Enter key, and then click on Replace All. Click on Close, and within a matter of a couple of seconds, you've got all of those sentences on their own line. Now you can go in and more easily and quickly make a few cosmetic adjustments. After you've done that, you want to save this and give it a name, and we're saving it as a TXT file. Now, of course, I would normally spend more time in here and make this all pretty, but for the sake of this demo, you know what I'm doing. Now then, we come on down here and open up PowerPoint, and I'm using PowerPoint 2010, and we want to come up here to File, Open, and navigate to the location on our computer where we saved our text document. And then we want to come over here to where it says All PowerPoint Presentations, hit that drop down, and we want to select All Files. Then we want to look for that text document and then select it, click on Open. Then we want to come up here and click on View, select Slide Master, and then untick the box here next to Footers, and then come on over here to the right and select Page Setup. And we want to choose in the drop-down box here 16:9 ratio, and click on OK. And if you want to use any themes or background images, you can do that as well. But for now, this is all I'm going to go with. Click on Close Master View, and you want to make sure that all the slides are selected. I'm going to do that by holding the Control key down on my keyboard and hitting the letter A as in Apple, or I believe it's Command A if you're on a Mac. I'm not really sure. I'm not a Mac user. And then you want to come up here to Layout and select Title Slide. And while you have all the slides selected, come on up here and select Spelling, just to be on the safe side. Hopefully the spell check was done during the transcriptions. And you want to go through here and see about any blank slides. And just delete those, make any other adjustments you want to make here. Like maybe this one here has too much text on it. You want to adjust that somehow. Again, however you want to do that. And then once you've got everything looking the way you want, come on up here to File, Save As, navigate to the location on your computer where you want to save this to, give it a name, and then under Save As Type, hit that drop down and select JPG. And again, there are other ways in which you can do this. This is just the way that I'm doing it. And then click on Save, and then click on Every Slide, and then OK. And what that's done is it's saved each one of these slides as an image and put it in a folder named whatever you named it. In my case, I think it was My Demo. So now that we've got the individual slides, you can record your audio, and I would use Audacity, and you would just make sure you have all the items set properly, and then click on the record button and simply read into your microphone the text from the slide deck or from the original transcript. So now that you've got the individual images for each slide, you've got the audio file saved as a WAV file from the recording you made with Audacity, and you're going to go through the original video and grab screen grabs. And I've done this using Snagit, and there's actually other tools you could use in case you don't have Snagit. Jing's a good one, and Jing is free, but it's made by TechSmith as well. And then all you do is you gather up all those pieces of the puzzle and put them into Camtasia Studio. Now that we have all the pieces of the puzzle created, that is, we've got the screenshots taken from the actual video, we've got the PowerPoint slides that we created and saved as JPEG images, and we've got the voiceover created that we generated from reading off those slides or from the original transcripts. Now then, we've opened up our Camtasia Studio software, used import media, or however you got the stuff in the clip in. You can just drag and drop it in here for that matter. Now we want to make sure that the end result, our end video, is going to be the right resolution. So depending upon how you have things set up here by default, you might have to make an adjustment or two. And if you remember, I have my slides set at a 16:9 aspect ratio. 800 by 600 ain't going to cut it for me. That's 4:3. So if nothing else, we can just hover over one of the images here and we can see that it's 960 by 540. That's what we need this to be at, or at least way something reflecting a 16:9 ratio. So let's go ahead and bring one of these images down here into the timeline. And I prefer to have my audio on track 1 and the images on track 2. And you'll see why here in just a second. So with that down here, now then we can come up here, click on the resolution, get the box popping up here. Now you might have to untick the aspect ratio thing here and then just type in the numbers 950, because if you have this checked, let's go back here and I'll show you. If you have this checked and then try to type in 950, you see this is automatically changing, and that's not what we want. Let's untick that and then come on in here and make that 540. And you can make the background here whatever you want. I prefer white, but that's just up to you. As you can see here, that kind of blends in a lot better. And then click on OK. And in hindsight, I could have made the text larger on those PowerPoint slides so they might fit better into this particular size. So again, hindsight, 2020 and all that stuff. Now let's go ahead and bring in the audio down to the track 1. And make the editing here or the syncing up a lot easier. I'm going to go ahead and stretch this out. So I'm just going to play the audio, and where I need to make the adjustments, I'm just going to do that. So let's go ahead and I'll be quiet and play the audio. This video is going to demonstrate a few ways to customize the layout of your Gmail user interface. Go ahead and pause that right there. As you can see, that's where the text on the slide ends, Gmail user interface. So I want to bring that slide image right up to that point, bring in the next one, and that's slide 2, not slide 10, the next one up here, bring in slide 2. Right click, add to timeline playhead, and there we are. Now I'm going to be quiet and play the audio. I've already logged into my Gmail account here, And one way is the number of emails that are shown by default. Right there's a pause. And just a little hint, I always make an extra pause so that I can see it a little more clearly on the timeline here. And that just kind of speeds this process up. So if you're brand new at this, that's a little trick you might want to kind of put away in your tool belt of things to do. Now I'm going to go ahead and see what these images are. As you can see, I've numbered them. I might have also wanted to put the number of the slide that corresponds to. And we can make adjustments to the size of this so that it fits better in with the text. We can always move the text up. You can make a little adjustments here if you need to. You can add transitions so it's going to fade out, or I like this one, ripple in. Is to customize the layout of your Gmail user interface. I've already logged into my Gmail account here, so that might work better right in here. So I'm going to go ahead and finish putting things together and show you the end result. And as you can see, I've added some callouts to emphasize certain sections of the screen grabs or other parts of the video. But between the added callouts, the transitions to the various elements, in this case the screen grabs of the original video, and converting the original transcript into PowerPoint slides and then saving those as JPEG images, and then recording the audio, bringing all of those elements or pieces of the puzzle into our Camtasia Studio clip bin, and then coming up here and producing and sharing. And depending upon if you've got custom production settings, totally up to you, but myself, I typically just go with the MP4 only, and depending upon how I recorded it, either up to 720p, or as in this case, like this particular demo video where I'm making a full screen or a 1080p video, then I'll just take advantage of that and go with the MP4 only up to 1080p. So however you want to do that, it's totally up to you, but you can see obviously that there's some effort involved in this, but compared to actually doing all of the original legwork yourself, doing the research, gathering of images, recording the video, editing the video, where that can take days or weeks, this will take hours. And the end result is a unique product. So that's going to bring us to the end of this video demonstration on one more way in which you can repurpose an existing private label video and end up with a totally unique product. Thanks for watching. You have a great day.